First step, on a Phillips head screwdriver, you want to undo these two screws here. Next step, you want to pry off this part here that's being held on by the screws. It helps if you have something to pry it off with, but it's going to require a little bit of force, but that's to be expected because it's got these clips here that go into these holes here. Alright, next you want to just pry the prongs off. This is also going to require a lot of force to be used. It might seem like you're going to break it, but it's the only way to get them off, as far as I can tell. It helps if you have a ripcord in there just to keep it from spinning. That gets that one off. And I've got another one here I already took apart. So then you can just take the new prongs, just kind of make sure that the disc part, the white disc palm here, is just the right side down. And then you just gotta snap that back in place, put this back on, snap this back in place, then screw it on. That's it. Now, if you want to change the prongs out for a string launcher, it's a little bit more involved. You can't just take this black part off without taking the whole thing apart. Well, you can try, but when I did it, it broke the little clips on the black part, so I would advise against it. But first things first, you want to unscrew these 4 screws here. I already did it, but then you're going to want to make sure that you're holding the launcher with the top side up before you take it apart, or else everything's going to fall out on you. It might have a little tension to it just because of the spring mechanism. If you can, try and hold this part down, because it might try and fly out when you open it up. Alright, so now with this open, you can see that there are these little clips here. That's the back of the clips from the ring that holds the prongs in place. You just want to push those so that they come out of the place where they're seated. That time it just popped the ring off right straight away for me. But yeah, you just got to make sure those clips are not in place before you try and take the ring off. Make sure all of your parts and doodads are in place for the inside, and then I would just recommend putting the lid back on and then just screwing the bottom of the bottom 2 screws back in place, just to keep things together, because you don't really have to go inside of it for the rest of the swap. Alright, and then next you just want to take the prongs off like you did with the winder launcher. Of course, it's going to be fighting you, but then you should be able to take the prongs from a string launcher or a winder launcher and then just interchange them. Should be perfectly compatible. I think it's the exact same part. And then this should just snap into place. And there is how you swap the prongs on a string launcher.